Alrighty then, we are live from Columbus, OH. And this is answering your questions, financial questions, not regular, just financial questions. Live, number 186. Waiting for the... Alrighty then, we are live. For the audio to kick in, which it did, so let's continue, shall we? I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you are having money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free consultation/assessment with me by emailing coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You're watching me on youtube.com/coachstevemoney. And for my financial content, just scroll past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlist. Then you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist and the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist and the music playlist that has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in it. And now it's time for the budget question of the day. Little segment I came up with yesterday. You bitch. Okay, that is not fun for a username. Budget ideas. Does anyone have any budgeting ideas that are ADHD/autism friendly? I've tried budgeting, but I'll keep up with it, then become disinterested and or forget to just do it. Like I'll start and keep up with it for a month and forget to do it one time, then just stop doing it completely. Okay, well, you don't have to have autism or ADHD to do that. Some people start it and then they don't keep up with it because they're just lazy, or they start thinking it like it's not worth it or anything like that. And I won't say I'm not a doctor, so or any kind of therapist, so I don't know what you can do to combat the ADHD or autism, but you need to do it. You wouldn't have done it the first time unless you thought it was important to do, right? So it's still important to do, so you need to do whatever you need to do to make yourself do it, because it is important to do. So, and the problem is also what works for one ADHD autistic person might not work for another person. So there's no telling. I mean, you can do anything you can do to make it more exciting to you, or anything like that. Try different budget apps. You might like some better than others. You might like doing it on a hashtag yellow pad, like Mr. Ramsey talks about, or doing it on a spreadsheet or something like that. You might like that better. So try all the things, and again, you have to find a way to make yourself do it because it is very important to do it. You don't get a pass, just like you don't get a pass on the math if you live in California. You don't get a pass on the math if you're ADHD/autistic either. Alrighty. And we'll come back to the Reddit. I got this from reddit.com/r/budget. And we'll come back here if we run out of Reddit questions. But I think we'll be okay. Let's see, is this it? Yeah, honest question for Dave Ramsey followers. This is from Prairie Madness. Honest question for Dave Ramsey followers. I want to start by saying I don't mean to be disrespectful. Then don't be disrespectful. So it's sus already. And then I have friends, and my wife has friends who are hardcore Ramsey followers. Okay, great. Why don't you respect them instead of being disrespectful if you are? So if you don't mean to be, don't be it. But I've been noticing something that I generally want to put out there for discussion. Alrighty, and I get it. That's what forums like this are for. But really, if you have an opinion about something, You don't have to put it into the world. Like, I don't have to put this in on YouTube, but I'm choosing to do it because I find it very enjoyable, and maybe you find that very enjoyable, or more likely, a lot of times, people that post on here and want to nitpick the Ramsey advice, they're just being trolls. They just want to be trolls. And they can't understand how anybody could think their opinion would be wrong. And so, let's see what's up. Ramsey method is all about getting out of debt and living within your means. Yes, it is. That's the fastest way to fix your finances. What's the problem with that? Which is great in theory. No, it's great in practice as well, because it works instead of whatever you would suggest. But what I see in practice is that it can create a self-imposed monastic lifestyle that starts to affect everyone around you. No, it shouldn't. Guess what? If your friends are doing the Ramsey stuff, that's none of your damn business. You don't have anything to do with that. That should not affect you. How is it affecting you? Oh, I'm mad because we can't go out and spend money anymore. Tough crap. Be an adult. Let's see, here's what I mean. Okay, here you go. You always come over but never host. I see. You avoid restaurants but happily accept dinner invitations. You let others pick up the tab because you're working the plan. All right. Well, that's, that's another thing. But that's not the Ramsey advice either. Also, you don't have to pick up the tab for them. You don't have to. Say, I'm inviting you, but I'm not paying for it this time. I can't afford to pay for it. Or just be honest and say, I don't want to. I don't want to. You can pay for your own instead of doing the Ramsey stuff. Or you could just shut your trap and let them do the Ramsey advice and then just not have them over to dinner. See, your little plan for going out to dinner is not somebody's, anybody but yours, top thing. That's the most important thing. That's only important to you. It's more important to these people to get out of debt. And if you're picking up the tab, well, then why wouldn't they go? If you have not said anything about it to them instead of whining about it on Reddit. Being frugal is fine. I respect discipline. Well, then shut up. But it's not fair when your financial philosophy becomes everyone else's burden. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. How are they getting money out of you unless you are allowing that to happen? You are the problem here, not them, not Mr. Ramsey's advice. You are the problem. You're an idiot. Friendship is supposed to be reciprocal. Yeah, it is supposed to be reciprocal, but that doesn't mean that they have to spend money when they don't want to spend money, you idiot. So my question for the Ramsey community, are you aware that your hyper-frugal lifestyle can actually be taxing on your friends and family? I don't give a crap. Because it shouldn't be taxing on anybody else. Nobody's asking them not to go out to eat. On baby step 2, I just didn't go out to eat. I didn't tell any of my friends that they couldn't do that. So see, you're being stupid. You're a dumbass. Oh my goodness gracious me. Do you think about the fact that sometimes your chest ... taking? You are the one that is paying. You're the dumbass that's paying for it. If you stop paying for it, then maybe you won't feel like that anymore. You are choosing to do this. This is all your fault, not Mr. Ramsey's, not your friends. And if you can't budget for occasional takeout date nights or social reciprocity, I think that's how you pronounce that. Should you really be adding major life expenses like children to the mix? And now you want to control whether they have children or not. This person is an absolute idiot. Financial responsibility shouldn't mean social irresponsibility. Okay, well, you don't get to control anything except what you do, sir. You don't get to control what other people do. So shut your trap, and you don't have to pay for anything. You don't have to have children if your finances aren't right. You can make any choices you want for yourself, but you don't get to make those choices for other people. You're a dumbass. Alrighty, fun times. So that's an honest answer for a dumbass. That is so nutty. People are so nutty. What, again, mad because you want it to go the way you want it to go, and it's not going the way you want it to go, so you're whining about it. Ridiculous. How about let's do a thing called be an adult, and you make your decisions for yourself and not worry about anybody else. Not try to run the lives of anybody else. That's so stupid. And again, could be a dumbass troll, but just could be a dumbass instead. Our 2026 baby step plan again, like I said the other night when I was previewing, or last night when I was previewing the question, why are we waiting until 2026 to start? There's a couple of days left in September. Do you remember? It's not too late for September. October, November, December. There's 4 months, babe. 3 months and a couple of days. My wife and I have recently committed to following the baby steps, and it doesn't say, okay, wait till the next calendar year to start. It does not say that. Let's check the baby steps. It does not say wait until the next calendar year to start. She actually bought the Total Money Makeover 8 years ago and used it to clear 9,000 British pounds low of credit card debt. Great. At the time, I was too stubborn, you were a dumbass, and naive to take her lessons seriously, but I've since learned the value of Dave's approach. Last month, we took our first big step. We set aside £1,000 for our Star Emergency Fund and paid off the last of our remaining consumer debt. That's Australian. 2 iPhones and an iPad. Thankfully, apart from our mortgage, we've never fallen into serious debt since we've been married. But we've definitely lacked direction. Baby steps have already given us the clarity. They don't like T's in a lot of countries. Where we're at. Clarity. We need it. Looking ahead, we want to start a family in 2027. And we're going to set a calendar date for that too. So I see a pattern here. My wife's maternity package covers 12 weeks at 80% pay before dropping to statutory pay. So we know we'll need a financial buffer based on our current budget. A 3-month emergency fund would come to 10,000 bloody pounds, bloody quid. Once that's in place, we plan to create what we're calling baby step 3B, making up stuff now. Let's see. 3B is saving a down payment. A dedicated maternity fund. That's not baby step 3B, but whatever. This will allow us to smooth out her reduced income during maternity leave. We've estimated we'll need about 7,000 for this. I got a better idea. Why don't you just do 6 months of expenses instead of just 3 months? Why do you have to be all, oh, well, we got to make a separate baby step for this? I mean, you can do whatever you want. It's fine. I don't see the point of it. And once you, guess what? You don't save it ahead of time either, though. But the second you're pregnant, then you pause the baby steps and just pile up cash anyway. So perhaps these Brits don't know that. This makes 2026 our year to work hard and stay frugal and build these savings with purpose. Does this approach seem reasonable? You can do whatever you want. The Ramsey advice is for you to not do that. And you're calling it, I mean, you're just saving money, so it doesn't matter really what you call it, but you would just be doing once you're out of debt, completely out of debt, then you do the full emergency fund, and you were only going to do 3 months, so why not do 6 months then? And would that be enough to take care of maternity stuff as well? If not, that's great, that's fine, because you can also do the 6 months of expenses in your emergency fund. And also, on top of that, again, the second she gets pregnant, that's when you pause the baby steps. You don't even do investing there either. You just pile up cash so you can take care of anything that comes up with baby or mom. So now people always want to put their little spin on it. They always do. Always. And they don't see how it's exactly the same thing, because it's just saving up more money. So, but they want to call it what they want to call it. Gray-eyed one. Do I sell for cash offer? I think this is about a house. Need some real advice, please. Well, that's all I give. I don't give the fake advice. I'm not on TikTok. In Virginia, my old stomping grounds. That's where I grew up. I am in process. How about in the process of waiting on disability benefits? Maybe the word "the" is one of the benefits you'll get when you get your disability benefits. I have no income. I stay home and take care of my 2 grandchildren with mental and physical disabilities of their own. My home is beautiful, but it needs some repairs, such as updated flooring. Does it though? Does it though? Is it just because you don't like the floor? If the floor is keeping your feet from touching the dirt and it is structurally sound, then guess what? You don't need updated flooring. So I would challenge the person on that. Painted throughout? No, it doesn't. Also, you can get some paint and paint it. Outdoor stairs replaced. You don't need the outdoor stairs, I guess, to maybe escape in a fire. But why does it need to be replaced? Can it just be repaired? See, people get nutty when they talk about a house, especially one that's beautiful, as you say it is, and then all of a sudden they want to spend way too much money on it. And you're probably not in a position that you can do that. So it's not going to be a loan. That's not going to be the answer. This is the Dave Ramsey subreddit. Dear. Total estimate to do all repairs is $40K. Is that the only estimate you got? Some people are nutty and only get one estimate, and then they think that's what it is. That's like in the King James version of the Bible. That's what it says, $40K right here on the first thing I got, and so that's what it's got to be. It can't possibly be lower than that by anybody else. It can be. Get other estimates. It basically was neglected for 5 years. Okay. I was going through multiple surgeries. Okay. The home/property is too much for me to maintain now by myself. I'd like to sell. Go ahead. Travel for a year and downsize. How are you going to take care of your mental and physical disability grandchildren then? Are you going to take them traveling with you? The problem I'm stuck with is I only owe $55K on the loan. Here are the options I received from Realtor. Okay, what you can also do is leave the Realtor out of it as far as your decision. Let's see, what is this? ARV, I don't know what that is. Is that a company? $600K, cash offer. Oh, is that ARV? Does that mean adjusted retail value? Is that what that means? $600K. Cash offer is $460. Get a check and walk away. Yeah, list as is for $550K. I mean, my name is Paul, and that's between y'all. If you want to get more money for it, I'm sure your realtor does. But if you want to get more money for it, you can do that. After closing, showings, closing, inspections, etc., walk away with $500K. Okay, that's 40K more. You have the offer right now. So your time frame would be in question here. So if you wanted to have it immediately, you settle for 40K less then, right? And the 500K is not, you don't know if you'll be able to sell it for that much. So the 460 is definite because that is an offer right now. Full value listing next spring. Take out a loan. Nope. Nope. That one's a no because of the loan. No. No. Quit being dumb. This is the same thing like kids taking out student loans because they say, well, then, of course I'm going to graduate. Of course I'm going to like the work I do. Of course I'm going to be able to get a job in my field. Of course I'm going to make a lot of money, and then I can pay off these high student loans. That's four things in that equation that can go wrong. So don't be dumb and do that. Again, Dave Ramsey subreddit. In case you didn't know, and hello anybody that's new, just so you know, Mr. Ramsey is not only the no debt guy, but he's the no debt leverage guy. So this is a no immediately on, should I take out a loan for, and people call him up every single week. There's at least one. Because they think their little situation is the exception, and there never is one. Unless you want to count being underwater on a car, and you can borrow a lower amount to get rid of a higher amount. And doing that to get rid of the higher amount of the mortgage, nice try. That's not the same thing. Placed on the market for 620. Again, you don't know that you will ever get more than 460 for it. You do not know. You can put it on the market for $1 million. That doesn't mean anything. People are nutty, and when they assume that things, especially involving money, are just going to work out for the maximum money for you. They're not. After all is done, walk away. Just walk away, Renee. With at least, or was this supposed to be the tilde, approximately 550K? What do? I'd take the 460 if you want it to be fast, but there is no loan happening. So you can wait and do the closing showings, etc. Or you can list as is for the 550 and get $40,000 more if it's worth it, if the $40,000 is worth it to you to not be able to sell it right now. The problem is with that cash offer of 460K, that may go away. And if you list it for 500, or what is it? List it for 550K, and then you can't get that, you might also find out you can't get 460K at that time either. So that's why you have to think about this and not just assume that no matter what you do here, everything will work out, because that's not how life works, my friend. So, and again, how are you going to take care of your grandchildren and travel too at the same time? That seems like that is going to be very expensive. New to this, advice appreciated. This from Sania FMP. Sanya, maybe? Hi guys, I-32 just learned about Dave Ramsey recently. Okay, in case you didn't know, he's the no debt guy, the no debt leverage guy, the no loans guy. If I'd known about him a year ago, if wishes were fishes, we'd all swim. I'd probably be in a much different situation. Indeed. You didn't, so you're not. So start now. The only debt I have, aside from my mortgage, is my student loan, which is about $160,000. Doesn't matter. The interest doesn't matter. My original plan was to apply for public service loan forgiveness, PSLF, Work, pay for 10 years and have the rest forgiven. I already have 1 year under PSLF. But given the current political situation in today's economy, blah, 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 and the pause on the save plan, I'm not sure if it will actually happen. The advice, regardless, is to pay off a loan that you took out instead of waiting for the government to take care of it for you. That is the Ramsey advice. So if you want to follow this advice, that's what you would be doing. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, where are we? Where are we? I also regret purchasing a home last year with a $440K mortgage at 6.6% interest. Well, fortunately, you can undo that by selling it. Yes, you'll take a loss probably. But then you don't keep a house that you can't afford, and you are not in a position to do that since you owe all of that student loan debt. So you did it wrong. Annual salary, but you didn't know. Not familiar with Ramsey at the time, so I'll give you a break on that. But you can fix it by undoing it by selling it. 190K. Think, I don't know what that is. Oh, single income, no kids. Figured it out. Yes, dude. Not today, dementia. Unfortunately, a little less than half of my monthly paycheck goes towards housing and utilities. I know, yeah. Sell it today. Put it on the market today. Today. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, do. Today. If I had come across Dave Ramsey sooner, I would have waited and run it instead. Yep, I do contribute max to my 401k and Roth, and you're not supposed to do that while you have student loans. You're doing it wrong. Learn the Ramsey way and do the Ramsey way. This is the way. For those who's part, maybe for those who are part of this journey and know a little about student loans / forgiveness, how do you suggest that I tackle this? You pay off the loans. Hopefully you can have a little bit of equity since that was last year. Hopefully you have a little bit of equity, especially if you put a lot down, which you probably didn't. But hopefully you can get a lot of money back from that. And that will get you in, at least moved into an apartment. And maybe there'll be some left over to apply to those student loans. But yeah, you stop investing right now. Do I do minimum for PSLF? No, you just pay it off. Or just try and, first of all, it's try to. We like to do the King's English. We try to do something, not try and do something. And of course, as we know from watching The Empire Strikes Back, is we don't try, we do, or do not. There is no try. And pay off the student loans. Can't sell the house. Bull crap if you can't. Bull crap if you can't. You're going to lose money on it, yes. Tough crap. Can't sell the house because market slowed and I'd be losing money. Yes, you would. And that is a little thing we call stupid tax. Because it costs you money when you make financial mistakes. And then to fix it, you sell the house and you lose some money. Yes, you do. But guess what? You can sell it. You just don't want to. Already put some money into the house. You also had to fix it up right after you bought it. House is selling 30 to 50K cheaper next to me than I bought last year. Closing costs, etc. Thanks in advance. Yeah, hey, sell the freaking house. I should have been more clear. Salary is 190K after I contributed max to 401K. Therefore, my salary is about 213. Okay, here's what we do. What we do, my friend, is we do not do 401k. We do not do investing. Stop investing. Sell the house is the advice. And the beauty of it is you don't have to do it if you don't want to. But that's the Ramsey advice. So, are you just going to pretend you're following the advice by got baby step 2 down there? So are you just going to pretend even though you're doing just about everything incorrectly? Are you just going to pretend you're taking the Ramsey advice and you're following Dave? Like the people that call his show and said, Dave, I've been following you for years. I do everything you say, but I got a loan and I do this and I do that. And then it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. People are nutty. They really are. Baby steps 4, 5, and 6. This from Financial Air 8888. Yep, that was 4 8. Baby steps 4, 5, and 6. And of course, that is when you start investing. And of course, you don't start that until steps 1, 2, and 3 are done separately in order first. But then you're on steps 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time, if applicable. Like, for example, if you do not have a child, if there is no child yet, then you don't do step 4 yet. There has to be a child alive for you to do that, for you to do step 5. And a mortgage, if you've decided to rent the rest of your life, then congratulations, you're already on step 7, as long as you are investing. And investing is eternal. You do that even in retirement unless you need any income to live on instead of investing. Let's see if that covers it. For those in baby steps 4, 5, and 6, how's it going? Great. Ours looks like the following. Currently saving around 20% in S&P 500 index funds. So you're doing it wrong. You are doing it wrong. And people know they're doing it wrong sometimes, and they still act like they're following the advice, but they're lying, and they're dumb. Anyway, okay, first of all, it's 15% until that mortgage is paid off. Let's see if that changed sometime between yesterday and today. Oh, look, no, it didn't. It still says 15% of your household income. That's gross income. 15%. It does not say 20% on there. His advice is also not an index fund. You can make more money by doing managed funds, and he advises a 4-way split between small cap, mid cap, large cap, and international managed mutual funds. And why managed? Because instead of the index funds, because the managed ones, you might have to look for a minute to find them, but they do exist. The managed funds can beat the indexes even after you subtract the higher managed fund expense ratio. Dave recommends 15%, but we got a late start. And here's the beauty of the Ramsey advice. It doesn't matter if you got the late start. That does not change the advice. It's the same for everybody always. Stop being dumb. Stop thinking you're special and changing the advice. Again, you can do whatever you want to with your life and money, but you're not following Dave Ramsey's advice. You're doing it wrong. Baby step 5, we have a 70 round K, and our goal is 100K for our oldest. Junior in high school. Okay, that's pretty good. Junior in high school. So you got, that just started this year. So you got 2 more years to go before college. So get there then. And one way to do that would be to only put 15% into your freaking 401ks and Roth IRAs. And again, stop doing the freaking index fund. That's not the Ramsey advice. Just started 529 for our youngest. Okay, baby step 6, 250K left on the mortgage at 6.125. Goal is to pay it off in the next 3 years. That's fabulous. You're still doing it wrong. And maybe if you were doing it right, you would pay it off quicker, but maybe not, depending on, how much money you'll need for your child and what other expenses come up. Just curious what baby steps 4, 5, and 6 looks like for others following the plan. I'm sure other people are doing it wrong, just like you are. But also, there's other people following the Ramsey advice, and they're following proven advice that has 20 million documented cases of success stories. Whereas when you start changing crap, that's not been proven. So knock yourself out to try something else, but you're not following Dave's advice. Good luck. Songsta, like instead of gangsta, but it's Songsta 17. Dave Ramsey approach to home renovations: cash only when your kitchen is falling apart. Justification station here. I get the warning bells immediately. You know what people love to do? I said they're nutty, right? We did remember that. People are nutty. What people like to do is exaggerate to justify, hashtag justification station, to justify their dumbass crap. And in this case, since this says cash only, they're thinking loan. And do we know what the Ramsey answer to should I take out a loan to fix up my kitchen? The answer is going to be what? No, Steve. Oh, you're right. Good job. I have the smartest listeners. Following Dave's principles, but our house desperately needs. Following Dave's principles, but it doesn't work for my little situation. I don't give a crap. Make it work for your little situation. What you do is you change around your little situation. And so, okay, if there's stuff broke in the kitchen, fix the stuff in the kitchen without doing a complete remodel. Some people use, like where you could just change a washer in the freaking sink. Just change out the washer and everything would be fine. They turned that into a entire remodel. Well, we got to fix the sink anyway. Dumb. So, and that's just what the normal people do. I don't know for sure, but this is what I would talk with about this person were I advising. Yeah. Kitchen is literally falling apart and we're embarrassed to have people over. Okay, well, it's not a law that you have to have people over. You don't have to have them over. If you're embarrassed by your house, you don't have to do that. So again, that's not justification station for taking out a loan to redo your kitchen. Been saving a grass, but at current rate, it'll take 2 more years to have enough cash. And I'm not sure the kitchen will last this long. Again, I need to know exactly what's wrong with it because I don't trust you. I don't trust you on that. What's the Dave approved way to handle necessary home repairs when you don't have the full amount saved? Save longer. Some people say HELOC is okay and they're lying. It's not. That's the same as a loan. That's a no. That's not Dave approved, and you know darn well that it's not. Others say cash only no matter what, and others would be right. Not the some people. Some people, they like say they're following Dave Ramsey, and they don't do that. And you're in baby step 1. You can't be doing this stuff. Using Realm to get accurate budgets so I know exactly what I'm saving toward, but struggling with the timeline reality. Oh, it says baby step 3 here. It says baby step 1 up at the top and baby step 3 down at the bottom. We're making up your mind there. Make up your mind. All right. And see, this is the thing. This is the thing here. Okay. It says baby step 3 down here. That's the full emergency fund. All right. If the kitchen is actually falling apart where you can't walk through it or the floor might cave in, then maybe you consider that an emergency. Again, if you just want it to be remodeled, that would not be an emergency and you would not use that. And again, a loan is not ever going to be the answer. Now, people know that, and yet they still do it, and then sometimes they still insist that they're following Dave's advice. No, you're not. You're doing what you want to do. He said no loans, and you're doing loans for that. Come up with something else. Come up with another way to, get the thing, get something. If I need to know what specifically is the problem with it, and how much it costs to specifically get that done, because I'm sure this is an entire remodel that they're talking about. See, because it doesn't say repair. in the title, what does it say in the repair? Home renovations. Renovation and repair are two different things. People are nutty, and I do not trust them as far as I could throw them, which at my age, probably can't throw them very far. So yeah, I don't ever trust them. So I would have to ask. I would have to find out exactly what's wrong with it. And if there's a problem with the sink, fix the freaking sink. If there's a problem with the dishwasher, fix the freaking dishwasher. That doesn't mean you need a whole new kitchen. Oh, it raises my hackles. Anyway, I think I didn't look that up to see if that was correct for that. It raises something, I can't remember. Getting on my nerves, basically. Be working my nerves. High mortgage debt question, and that's a no. The answer is no. The answer is no. How about that? That was easy. Next question. No, we'll see. Let's see. I'm a big Ramsey fan, but only started watching his videos and becoming engaged with his content. Well, that's beautiful, because guess what? Just like the other person, you can sell your house that's too expensive for you. Yay! Yay, you can move. Even if you will lose money on the deal, you can move because it's better for your finances. Yes. I have a question that centers around my mortgage debt that I'm hoping y'all can help with. I certainly can. It might be telling you that you're a dumbass, but I can certainly help. First, some background. Probably not needed. Probably just need the numbers involved, but let's read it anyway. So, 30, single, and come from a household that taught me financial responsibility at a young age. Doesn't change anything. Doesn't change the advice coming. I've always been reasonably good with money. Doesn't change the advice coming. After that being said, I live a somewhat lavish lifestyle. Stop it. That changes it. That makes me be more critical of you. High income, high expenses. Yeah, that makes me be more critical of you. But any/all debts are paid off quickly. That makes me more critical of you. You're debt leveraging. You're trying to get reward points or some other dumb crap. So that's a no. So you're a big Ramsey fan, but you don't want to follow any of his advice. Okay, cool. But with example, I live in a condo on the water. All right, I don't care about any of this stuff. Let's see. Income $220,000 to $260,000 before tax. Debts none other than my mortgage. See below. Mortgage $525,000, 30-year. Were you supposed to get a 30-year? No, you were not. And so how you fix that is you refinance into a 15. And guess what? You probably can't afford the mortgage on a 15-year, and that may be why you got a 30-year in the first place. But that's God's way of telling you you can't afford it. You don't make enough to buy that house. Is what that is, and so your house poor. Also, you could cut out all the lavish lifestyle except for the house. Maybe you could do that. That's an idea. I know you should have done 15. Yeah, and you still can. It's not too late. You can change it. On a $700,000 condo, made a 25% down payment. That has roughly stayed the same in value. The current mortgage balance is $490,000, and the home value has increased to by about $50,000 to the purchase of the deeded boat dock, equating to roughly $260K in equity today. Okay, my payments are about $2,500 per month, principal and interest only, not counting escrowed property tax. Add on another $1,000 for monthly HOA fees. So a 15 would make it closer to $4,000, $5,000 a month, and you can't afford that on 260, dog. Savings currently have 30,000 and growing. My savings account, well more than enough for 3 months of emergency expenses. Great. Put the excess on the house. Pay it off. Retirement of Roth 403B, current balance 90,000. Okay, 6%. Okay, you need to be putting more in than that. It needs to be 15% of gross. And You know what you might have to do? You might have to cut out some of that lavish lifestyle, or sell the house. I don't care about his estimated net worth. I don't care about his estimation. It's not good enough for me. I never had any debt aside from mortgage. And the 2 HELOCs I listed above, where was that? Oh, right there, the one I skipped. Okay, yeah, so that's a no. Oh, so guess what? You're on baby step 2. Congratulations. Baby step 2. So that's a no. You're doing it wrong. Which were paid off quickly, so you don't. Yeah, okay. He said he doesn't have any other debts. Okay, yeah, shouldn't have done the HELOCs, but at least you got those paid off. All right. I'm wondering if I should continue to accumulate savings up until a certain point. No, all that goes into the house. Yeah, you put extra on the house. See, it says baby step 6 is unless they changed it. They did not. Look, pay off your home early. It does not say save more than the 3 to 6 months of expenses. So it doesn't say, oh, have an extra savings account. People always somehow end up with an extra savings account, a slush fund or something like that, and they have a brokerage account. It doesn't say do that either. It just says invest 15% of gross income into retirement. The time where you would do a brokerage account and do extra investing or extra saving would be in step 7 and not a second before then. The remaining 490,000 balance seems very insurmountable. Then sell it and buy a cheaper house. But my annual housing cost, 30,000 mortgage plus 12,000 in condo fees plus 4,500 property taxes plus 2,500 insurance plus 2,000 utilities and other. The utilities are going to be the same, probably close to that, regardless of where you live. So you don't include that in the house cost. And the other thing, we don't include that either. What the heck is that? Nearly 1/3 of my post-tax income. Yep, that's too much. What would Dave do? Any advice on how I should handle accumulating savings? You don't. That's how you handle it. You don't. It tells you right in the baby steps. Again, it does not say accumulate savings. Past the last time you accumulate savings, that would be for your full emergency fund. Then you're doing steps 4, which is investing, which is kind of saving, but you're doing the investing for retirement. It's not for saving around now for any of your lifestyle crap. That's not what it's for. Step 5, if you have kids, you would be putting away some for their college. If you don't, you get to skip it, and that's not part of the equation. And then it says pay off your house quickly. So it does say that stuff. It doesn't say do extra investing or extra saving. Where did you come up with that from? Why are you making up parts of the baby steps? People just think they're supposed to save for some reason, even though it doesn't say it in the baby steps. It says it for step 3, and that's it. Done. Exception would be expenses, specific expenses. On step 4, 5, and 6, you can schedule vacations if you want to, and you can have savings for specifically that, but you don't have a taxable brokerage account for that, and you don't have a slush fund for savings for if I want to spend more money. No, it's got to be a specific reason, because again, I don't trust you people, because you people will take me saying, oh, well, you can do that. Okay, I trust you. It'll be for something specific, and then it won't be for something specific. So that's the whole thing. My pal Sid, and Lord Lover, of course. And I see the point for sure. But she's fine with somebody if they need to have $2,000 or $3,000 instead of $1,000 to start the baby steps. So that's fine with her, in her opinion. But my problem is, again, I don't trust people because people are too nutty. If you are already changing something on baby step 1, then you're going to change something on baby step 2 as well. And 3, and 4, and 5. And 6. You're going to change something on all of the baby steps. And so that's what I think about for that. Otherwise, I would just sign on to that. Because sure, okay, if that's the only thing you change and you do everything else like Dave says, that would probably work out fine for you. It hasn't been proven, like the 20 million proven success stories. Those have been proven using his advice. First, Dave would tell you to pay on a 15-year amortization. Right, you pay it like a 15, even if you don't refinance. But the fun thing about refinancing to a 15 is then you have to pay it in 15 years. And so actually, if you've had it for a year now, then you should do a 14. I don't know if you can do that. Or a 13 if you've had it 2 years. So you're doing it wrong. You're trying to do crap your own way and yet still say you're following Dave's advice, just like several other ones today, but you're not doing it. And if you don't want to follow Dave's advice, congratulations, you're like everybody else. Hardly anyone wants to follow Dave's advice. We are the few that will do that. Because nobody wants to sacrifice anything. Such as previously stated, somewhat lavish lifestyle. And so I'd want to know what the high income, high expenses. No, just because your income is high doesn't mean your expenses have to be high. You're full of crap with that. You're full of crap. Having a high income does not mean you automatically have to spend more money. You are choosing to do that dumb bull crap. Anyway, wedding input, can't wait. Several profit 5229. And wedding stuff is always fun because people think you have to do it a certain way. And it requires this amount of money to do it that certain way. So I have to do it. I need to do it. No, you don't. If you love somebody and want to get married, you can do that in justice of the peace. And say, for example, a good time to do that would be a film, baby step 1 or 2 or 3. And then once you're out of baby step 3, then you can have a great big wedding party later in life. Oh, but that's not the print. That's not the fairy tale. That's not the, I don't give a crap. Do you want the fairy tale or do you want to make your finances better? Your call. Lebanese but born and raised in the U.S. My husband. Let's go ahead and open it since I see the ellipses, which means it couldn't fit on the first page. My husband and I have been dating for 7 years. Got engaged in early 2023. Decided to live in Lebanon so we can be together throughout our engagement and early stages of marriage while waiting for his green card, etc. We ended up doing a very small ceremony at a church with just my direct family and his direct family. Great. Then at a dinner at Sultan Ibrahim. Afterwards, and it was a very small / humble affair. Great, what's the problem? Fast forward now, we had twin girls, congratulations, and moved abroad, and we are making a lot more money to the point that we can absolutely afford to throw a big wedding, which is something I always wanted but never fully realized because it was so far away based on the situation we were in while living in Lebanon. Would it be wrong to have a vow renewal, throw a big wedding now? Almost 3 years after we originally got married. He says he's down to, meaning her husband, I guess, but would rather we put the money into buying land and property. Well, yeah, you can spend whatever money you want to on anything, but then that means you can't use that same amount of money for something else. And he would rather buy land or property with it, and you want to have a fairy tale wedding party. So, which one of you is right? Neither. It can be either. But what didn't she tell us, kids, that would be necessary to tell her or to know before we could advise her? Do you know what it is, kid? Baby step number. That's right. Audience is so smart. What baby step are you on? If you're not on baby step 4 at least, then that's a no. You have to be done with baby step 3 before you can start saving for a vow renewal, throw a big wedding now ceremony. And so that's the advice on that. The second advice, I don't know if you really ask about it, but if you want to do something like throw a big wedding party, and he wants to do something different, like buying land / property, what you do is you talk to each other, you communicate effectively about it, and you come to a compromise, and neither of you will be perfectly happy. You'll be halfway happy because you get a little bit of what you want and he gets a little bit of what he wants. Theoretically, it's whatever you can agree on as far as how you handle this situation. So the problem with this would be, and it sounds like there's only one little bit amount of money that would be used for one or the other and cannot be split in half to do both. So that's a no. And of course, buying land property, we don't mortgage that, so that is completely bought in cash. So that's probably going to cost way more. So that might get you out of it. You could tell him that, yeah, we're not doing mortgages for buying land or property. That's for rentals. You can do that on a mortgage for a house you live in, but not for investment property. But the problem is you can't do two different things with the same amount of money twice. Can't do it. You can only use the same amount of money one time. And then you have to save more on that. And so, again, my favorite, the 3 C's, communicate. That a C? No, that's a C, that one. Communicate, compromise, and if you have a problem with either communication or compromising, then there's the third C, which is a little thing called counseling. Oh my, almost out of time. The hour goes by so quickly. Repulsive dog, 3371. That's not nice to the puppy. Maybe he is repulsive though. Might have to cash in 401k. That would be the last thing. You would need to try everything else first. That is not advised. The time you cash in 401k is in retirement, because that is a retirement account. So that's going to be a no. Anyway, let's see what the dealio is. I was well on my way. Traveled such a long, long way just to see her. Well on my way to paying my debt down, and I was doing a decent job of it. But then my truck got totaled and it got paid off through the loan payoff option I had selected through insurance. Okay, I got super excited because my husband has a motorcycle that he's been driving to work, and I could and have been using his truck, which is paid off for transportation. I could have had my debt minus the house paid off within maybe 12 to 18 months. What happened? 2 days after the insurance company told me my truck was a total loss, I lost my job. Yeah, that can, well, on one end, you don't have to have a vehicle to go anywhere then. I was making 6 figures, which is really great for this area, but there are no other opportunities here for my skill set. So here I sit with a $345 monthly payment, $540 monthly payment, and $600. And this is why, and you already have a 401k loan too. This is why Dave doesn't advise any of that crap. You did it all wrong. So, and unfortunately, you can't go back in time and fix it. You just have to do the best you can to fix it now. That means get a new job immediately, even if it doesn't make you as much as you were making. See, and the problem with you making six figures is now you might think you're too good to work for any less amount of money. Monthly 401k loan payment from when I used it to help with the down payment on my house before I was married last year. Yeah, should you have done that crap? No, you shouldn't. This doesn't include my mortgage and my share utility. Let's say husband. So you have split finances, which that's also not. Could say husband. Yeah, it says husband. Okay, so you're just doing it wrong. You're doing everything wrong. Everything you're doing is bad. Let's kick that.
If everything you're doing is bad, I want you to know this.
Indeed. Sorry, I'm having trouble clicking. So here I sit with did that. All the payments. That doesn't include my mortgage and my share of utilities. I have around $6,000 in my personal checking saving. I have around $6,000 in my personal checking saving. Everything you're doing is bad. You're doing it all wrong. And $450 a week coming in from unemployment. The only interviews I'm getting are making under 18 an hour, and that math doesn't math in paying the above. Neither does just 451 a week coming in from unemployment. Does it? No, it doesn't. So you need to take a job that you think you're too good for. The only thing I think to do at this point is take any job. Yes, no, and cash your 401k. No, you don't do that. This would be a great time to realize that the Ramsey advice is to have combined finances, and then it's not all on you. And of course, if your husband won't do that, then why did you marry him? If he's just going to leave you out to dry when you lose your job. Why did you marry him? That does not sound like it was a good decision. Where we at? I'm 49 years old and actually don't have a whole lot saved up in my 401k account as is, but I really don't know what else to do. He said, this does include my mortgage. Is there a mortgage that you have for? Is that rental property? You would sell that property. See, people don't think about that. Or are you paying the mortgage, and what is he paying for exactly? So all these questions is what I would be asking, and I would preface it all by saying you're doing everything incorrectly. You did it all wrong. There's nothing here you're doing right at all, except making the six figures originally. That's pretty cool. But the rest of it, you get an F. Sorry. Oh, let's do one more. Why not? Looking some reassurance or a smack in the face, as I say all the time. When people do a title like this, they know darn well they deserve a smack in the face. Interesting parking 12. And you know, I better let me post on the Reddit so people can tell me that I'm doing the right thing, even though that's not the Ramsey advice. People are nutty. Alrighty, I'll just skip. Okay, so my wife and I have around $75,000 in debt tied up in about 4 loans, all ranging from interest rates from 19 to 24%. Long story short, too late for it. Doesn't. That's not. I guess that's not bad. Long story short, technically 2 loans are mine and 2 of my wife's. We combine incomes. We combine finances when we get married. She attempted to bail out her credit card debt into some loans, but wasn't budgeting and kept running out of money at the end of the month. You're doing it wrong. You guys are doing. Why do people do it wrong? It's so you find out about Dave Ramsey. Just do that now and undo all the crap that you did and do it the Ramsey way. Do it the baby step way. And if it's not on, if it doesn't say to do it on a baby step, then you undo it. Like, for example, or the general advice says not to do it, you undo it. You undo the loans by paying them off. You know, it may take some time. You undo buying a house you couldn't afford, or you're, still have non-mortgage debt, which also means you shouldn't buy a house. You sell the house and move back into an apartment. You just undo all the dumbass stuff that you did. My second loan was actually cover her last round of credit card debt. You don't do loans to pay off loans. Stop that. Stop that crap. Stop it. Stop it. That's not the Ramsey advice either. Because I could get a better rate in monthly payment. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You don't do that because that makes you think you don't have to worry about it. And you do, obviously. Or you wouldn't have posted on here. So yeah, you need you need multiple smacks in the face. Anyway, for the numbers, all money's in separate accounts for debts only. So day-to-day expenses don't factor into this. Cut all your day-to-day expenses to the bone and buy only things that are 100% necessary to live. There's no lifestyle. There's a bunch of different numbers for different. They owe a lot of debt. Current plan I have set out as a payoff of all debts by December 2027. Okay. All right. And that's less than 3 years. So Mr. Ramsey's fine with that. What's the problem? But we will need to at least replace our roof within the year, as we will probably be selling due to a move for my job. No, just sell the house for less and say it needs a new roof. I'm sure the realtor wants you to fix the roof first, because then you can sell it for more and the realtor can get more money for it. But you don't need to do that. You can sell it with the stipulation that it will need a new roof. If it even does. It might not even need a new roof. You don't even know that. You might just be thinking about that. You might have just been told that by a roofer that wants to sell a roof, regardless of it actually needs one or not. So get a second opinion on that. I want to refinance debt. No, see, again, moving it around, that doesn't help you. Pay it off. We're going to go into a 7-year, $36,000 loan with $11.99 no origination fees. Payment $646. No, because a 7-year loan is not paid off by 2027. So if the way to pay it off by 2027 is to continuously get another loan, that's a no. You're so stupid, sir. Or madam. I think it said sir. In the end, it would free up about $1,400 in income that I could use to finish off the third loan and start building a roof fund. I want at least $10,000. Then I would get back to debt payoff. No. No, you sell the house now without a roof on it, or with a bad roof on it, and they can put a new roof on, whoever buys it, and they get a deal on this house, on the house. So you sell it for $10,000 less if that's what you think the roof would cost. See, and again, your realtor's not going to like that because they want the commission on that extra $10,000. You don't need them to get the commission on that. You don't need that extra $10,000 because you're not going to spend that extra $10,000 on the roof. So just sell the house as is. Stop being dumb. That's the first step. You got to stop being dumb. That should probably be part of baby step 0. Stop being dumb. My debt payoff date would get pushed back about 6 to 9 months with this new adjusted plan. Just looking for some insight, wanting to know if this seems like a good idea or not. No. Pay it off. Quit moving it around. If it bothers you because the interest is high, then pay it off faster. Stop spending money on anything else. The wife also turned the credit cards over to me. Great. Great. Pay them off. Close all of the accounts and don't do another loan. There's no 7-year loan. There's no more loans. Part of baby step 0 is definitely where you decide not to take out any more dumbass loans. And also, you decide, of course, to pay off your dumbass loans that you already took out as fast as possible. Quit being dumb. So yes, you need many smacks in the face because you're still trying to do the same dumb crap. I mean, it all says of debt payoff, debt payoff, debt payoff. And then we see something about getting a new loan. You're dumb as crap. Don't do that. That doesn't pay it off. Alrighty, what's tomorrow? Monday. Ramsey show after show tomorrow morning. And we'll talk about, I need some feedback about my elderly mother. Okay, well, you help her out if you can. If you can't, you can't. If it's about trying to give her financial advice, Mr. Ramsey says, people that have changed your diaper don't want to hear from you about money or sex over. What percent retired people give to charity? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what other people do. You give what you want to. 10% at least. The 10% comes from tithing, which is what Christians believe in. And so if they're Christians, they probably believe in tithing. And tithing literally means a tenth. And so that's what that is. And that's off the top before anything else. And so that's what they believe in. Now, you can certainly give to charitable organizations or help somebody out that needs it and call that charity. Certainly. And you get to decide how much that is. Again, Christians believe it should be 10%. That has nothing to do with you. Quit thinking everything else in the world affects you. And quit thinking that your opinion affects everything else in the world. It doesn't work like that. Pay off the house, yes. If you're on baby steps 4, 5, and 6, yes, you pay it off early. You don't have an extra brokerage account. You don't do extra investing beyond the 15% of gross income into retirement. You don't do extra saving outside of specific sinking funds other than the full emergency fund. You do not do that. That money goes to steps 4, 5, and 6. The investing, 15% in retirement. Address kid college if you have kids and you've chosen to help them. And 6, you pay off the house early. It says those right there on the baby steps. What do you need explained to you specifically? That's what I'd love to talk to some of these people, because I could say, what is it that you need explained specifically? Because it seems pretty straightforward to me. Need help for my credit card debt? Work more, spend less is what you have to do, and that way you help yourself. Updated every dollar premium. I have not tried it, so I don't know about all the changes and stuff. So I can't say that. Oh my goodness, out of questions. But other people will post some more by tomorrow, probably, and I have other ones ready to go if we run out. And starting full-time job tomorrow. Tips. Well, you want to do good things. You want to act like you're appreciative of them giving you money, employing you, instead of thinking it's something you're entitled to. Arrive early, at least 5 minutes, maybe 10. I go to mine 20 minutes early because I can clock in then and get paid overtime for it. So why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? There's other things like that. Just don't act like it's something like you're entitled to. You're not. Dress nice. Take a shower before you go there. It's common sense stuff, really. But we'll read all this stuff and see what's up with that. Whoops, that's my fantasy league. I think I'm winning still. Let's see. Not my league, but the league I'm in. Yeah, I'm winning currently. I think my opponent has somebody playing right now and somebody tomorrow night, Monday Night Football. And I have 2 people Monday night football, so might go down to the wire there. I think the winner wins. I think it's $40. Not a lot. Where were we? Oh yeah. I was going to do my plugs. Once again, I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solution Certified Financial Coach. And if you'd like to schedule a consultation/assessment with me, you can email me, coachstevemoney@gmail.com, and we will do that. That is, of course, through video conferencing. Google Meet usually. Donations can be done at paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, CashApp, $Coach Steve Money. It wasn't taken, if you can imagine that. Or a Walmart gift card to that same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, as always, subject to change. But for right now, the plan is the Ramsey Show After Show that starts at 11:05 a.m. Eastern, right after the new to YouTube Ramsey Show is over. And that's going to be Monday and Wednesday, September 29th and October the 1st. And maybe October 3rd if I'm not moving at that time in the morning. Plus, answering your financial question streams, 8 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday, September 30th and August 2nd. Also possible, if I don't do an after show on the 3rd, on Friday the 3rd, may do a 8 p.m. stream as well. Or instead, rather. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart. It says it right there. It doesn't say be a dumbass. It says make smart financial decisions every day.